Hello, everybody. Serpa here. This is going to be a long ASS video. I'm just going to tell you that right now. We are just getting started. You're going to be here for a minute with me because we got a lot that we're going to talk about. I thought that we were going to be having a more It's About More Than Real Estate podcast for you like immediately, like today. It's probably going to be tomorrow. But the thing is we have been fighting a war, and I'm going to talk about that, but we have podcasts lined up being released with Amanda Todd, Long Don, Vietnam boat survivor. Oh my gosh, dude. I was like absolutely captivated during this. Spent time on an island where there was a hurricane, survived, came to America, became an advocate for his father, who was a political prisoner of war in Vietnam. This guy's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Darren Campbell, the $4 billion man, personally sold $3.97 billion in real estate. That's Darren Campbell. Stephen Amaya, Oscar Tortola, Jermaine Massey. Guys, we've got a lot of really great content coming up. And of course, it's not just about real estate. It's about more than real estate. We had a season 1, which we stopped releasing in October, come out, and our top 3 podcasts were my old partner, Rob Morrow, was number 1. Number 2 was, what was number 2, Kate? Chris McCullough, Semper Fidelis Chris McCullough. So the top 2 were Marines, talking to Marines. So really good stuff. And then number 3, Jesse Zagorski. Marine, vegan. I'm just kidding. I love you, Jesse Z. All right. So we've got a lot of stuff that we're talking about. So first things first, I want to talk a little bit about my hiatus from real estate. And the whole reason, guys, why I'm doing this video, I have been answering Facebook messages since 6:30 this morning for the last 4.5 hours, and I am grateful. I'm not complaining. I'm not angry about that. If I had to start over tomorrow, just based on the amount of love and support that I got in my Facebook messages over the past several months, I would be okay. I would be able to eat for the rest of my life. I would have friends for the rest of my life. Life would be good. So I'm just want to let you guys know how grateful I was. I had a lot of love come out during the book tour in December. I had a lot of people reaching out to me in March when I ran for governor, but a lot of the themes that kept coming up, I'm actually going to be addressing in this Facebook Be Live, because I want to get everyone caught up here. Okay, so number 1. My hiatus from real estate. A lot of people are asking, David, can I join your team? When are you going to start practicing again? Can I be a part of the Serpa team? I understand it's not going to be what it was before, but can we do this? I know you don't want to run a mega team, but can I get mentorship from you? And I just want to tell you this. As much as I'm honored, as much as I love you guys, and as much as I appreciate that you guys look to me as a leader in our industry, I am no longer going to be practicing as a team lead for the foreseeable future. I have some things that I need to work on that, and quite honestly, I just don't want to do it. I'm very happy in my life right now. I'm very happy not practicing real estate. I'm very happy influencing and helping other people to do it, connecting people. I'm still connecting a lot of great people. And in my work that I've been doing with, that I'm going to be doing with VA Rep, NAREP, if you guys want me out, I'd be happy to work with you guys as well. I'm very excited about the things that I'm going to be doing with Lab Code Agent out in Coronado and continuing to contribute with their blog as well. So number 2, I had more meetings for coffee and more meetings and opportunities for lunch or to grab a beer than I know what to do with. I can tell you this much. I would never want for coffee again in my life. I would never need to eat again in my life. I would have so many lunch opportunities. And I appreciate that, guys. That's super cool. You know how awesome it is to open up your Facebook Messenger and be like, hey, can we grab lunch? Hey, can I have a 15-minute conversation with you? Hey, can we talk for 30 minutes on the phone? Hey, when you find some time, can we get together and do this? Guys, I appreciate it. I'm grateful for it. I don't have time for everybody and myself and my family. So here are the kind of meetings that I'm happy to continue to take. Bigger opportunities for me to help educate more realtors. more entrepreneurs, more people to become six-figure earners, to realize that they're enough, that they are good, that they don't need somebody to come and help them or save them. They just need to be shown some answers. Those are the kind of opportunities that I'm interested in. I am very happy to come out and speak. I have great opportunities coming up with Operation Silver Star that we're going to be doing here at the SRCAR building here in Riverside, where we're going to be helping bridge the gap between post-traumatic stress and anxiety, which is what the rest of the world is calling post-traumatic stress. We want to be able to give you guys some opportunities to move away from the stress and towards growth. The men and women that are the greatest are the ones that are trained in the severest of schools. Okay. I want to educate. I want to help predominantly. I want to help women. Why do I want to help women? Guys, I was raised by a single mother. I always tell people that my life would be significantly different if my mom had met me 20 years ago. I stand by that. I am all about empowering women. If you guys have a women's group and you'd like me to come and speak there, I'm happy to do that as well. Minorities. Again, another underrepresented group in this country that has helped build this country that still is looked at as guests by this country. So I am here to help redistribute your opportunities and redistribute your wealth that you should have been entitled to and had the opportunities at from the beginning. So NAREP, I'm here. NAREP, I'm there. Guys, let me know what I can do to help support you in your communities, to help you help with ownership in your community so that you can step out, not just in your communities, but in other communities that are wealthier right now, and then bring that wealth back. Get paid, homies. Get paid, get paid, get paid. I'm all about my veterans. 17 years of war. Welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. I know that there's still so many of you that are out there fighting. Those of you that are here, I'm grateful that there's a heart beating in your chest. Whatever the design that you are left with, you are not done yet, my brothers. You are not done yet, my sisters. Okay? I am here for my veterans. I'm here to continue to educate, to help them not just get empowered in real estate, but to also work towards becoming a homeowner. Okay? Because Marines, yes, we're great in business. We're also great ex-husbands. So I want you to be able to buy a house right now while you're still married. Use that BAH so that you can sell and get half of it in 4 or 5 years when you get out. I'm playing, nerds. I'm kind of playing. Sorry, I'm not sorry. All right. The third thing that I wanted to address was probably the most concerning. Massive feelings of inadequacy. I have all these people that are reaching out to me saying, Serpa, you need to run for governor. Serpa, you need to be a team lead. This industry needs you. Serpa, our town needs you. You're the unofficial mayor of French Valley. Serpa, we need you. Guys, you don't need me. I have been extraordinarily good at helping people understand that you are good, that you are worth it. You don't need me. Okay, I'm going to address a couple of these. Serpa, we need you to run for governor. You do not need me to run for governor. Okay, I appreciate the thoughts. Okay, let me put a couple of this up here really quick. So, Serpa, we need you to run for governor. You don't need me to run for governor. What you need to do is you need to get involved in your own communities. You need to get involved. Stop waiting for other people to do it. Here's a big thing. Zach Bach, who was an old partner of mine, very good friend of mine, he says to me, he says, David, this is so frustrating. I'm posting for these things for Not My Schools. I'm trying to make schools safer, and I'm reaching out to the Temecula Unified School District. I'm reaching out to Murrieta Unified School District. I'm getting meetings, and people keep coming back to me and say, well, what about Hemet? Well, what about this? Well, what about that? Get involved. What about Hemet? What about San Bernardino? That's on you. It's not on one man to do everything. Zach Bach was doing a good thing. The rest of you need to step up and bring this Not My Schools into your own area, okay? People coming out to me and saying, David Serpa, we need you to be the team lead. We're not going to be okay without you. You're going to be fine. You're going to be great. You're enough. You are always enough. You don't need me to tell you that every 30 days. You're going to be fine, okay? Learn who you are in relation to the rest of the world. Get out in the world, get involved, and understand that what you were seeing and loving in me was something that you already had in you. If you're like, oh, I love that Serpa is standing up for what's good, you see what's good. You see what's right. You get involved. Okay, I'm just a reflection back to you. Read The Alchemist, which is one of the first books that I'm going to be bringing to you, which unfortunately I have, not unfortunately, really great books are meant to be loaned out. Okay, so that's what we did. The Alchemist is with my good buddy Andrew Herringer right now. And there's this great story in The Alchemist. It's the way that it starts. And it starts off with, let's see here. And I library booked this right here. You're not going to be able to see it. Anyway, read The Alchemist. What happens is people, I'm going to be very candid with you guys here. And I'm going to tell you, I checked myself into a VA center. I think it was in January because I was struggling. I was having some things in my life that I was having trouble. Okay, here, I'm just going to. People know what we're talking about. So what had happened was I checked myself into the VA center. I was struggling. I was at a point in my life to where I was no longer thinking that my world would be better with me in it. I was thinking that I was affecting the people that were around me negatively enough to where I didn't want my kids fighting my demons for me. I didn't want my children to have to fight the fights that I had been fighting my whole life. And I was thinking, you know what? If they had to fight different demons, at least they wouldn't have to fight my demons. And so I said, well, what if I'm going to finish the Machine Gunners Guide to Real Estate? I was super triggered when I wrote that book. I was struggling with a lot of post-traumatic stress. I had not yet found that post-traumatic growth outlet yet. And so I was being very candid with people. I was being very real. And it sent me into this tailspin of frustration, these feelings of inadequacy. And then what happened was when I checked myself in, I was there for 3 days before I even talked to my provider. And I'm not sure what a provider is or what they're supposed to be providing me with, but all I was being given was bags full of medication. And instead of somebody looking at me in the eyes and saying, hey, David Serpa, good morning. How are you doing today? People were looking at me and saying, how's the medication? We are over-medicating our veterans. We are over-medicating ourselves. And instead of it being this temporary thing, what's happening is people are looking at our veterans and they're giving them all this medicine without the conversations. That's like going into a burning building, calling the fire department, having them come out, take out the smoke detector batteries so that the smoke alarm stops going off, and then saying that everything's okay. We are over-medicating ourselves. We are over-medicating our families. And we are putting ourselves into a situation where we no longer are even connected enough to ourselves to where we can even realize what is going on. So my suggestion to you guys is, so I go into the VA center. I end up having a conversation with this child who was 21 years old. And he tells me, you know what? I'm here for 3 days before I go to surgery. I'm pre-med, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And I'm having these conversations with him. And then 15 minutes later, he walks out, and we didn't even go into an office. We're in a hallway. And he goes and he talks to some guy who's a step above him, but still not the provider. And this guy comes to me and he says, in a hallway, hey, David, how's your medication? Good. How's your morning going this morning? Good. Okay. So we think that you might be this, and to top it all off, we think that you're a narcissist. You might be a narcissist. Okay, well, when you tell somebody who is struggling with codependency that they might be a narcissist, that's a pretty debilitating thing to tell somebody. I don't think that was totally fair to me. And so I told them, I don't really think that I'm struggling with being a narcissist. I'm struggling very greatly with finding a sense of self-worth, finding any self-love whatsoever. And so I disagreed with him. I ended up getting out after 5 days. It was not a good situation to be in. It's not something that I would seriously recommend to you. But I was waiting to get into this place at Boulder Crest. I knew that I was no longer in a situation to where I was feeling super healthy and super balanced. I needed to go somewhere. And I left with a bag of medication. And I was no longer wondering what's wrong with me. I now had a list of things that were wrong with me, that were all given to me by people that had not even spent 15 minutes with me. And so I went out and I decided, hey, what am I going to do from here? And as I'm getting ready to check myself out on the last day, I'm sitting across the table from my provider. I finally am having this moment with my provider. And she says to me, we think that, you might be a narcissist. And I said, do you know the story of narcissism? Do you know that story? Okay. Have you read The Alchemist? Well, no, I haven't read The Alchemist. Okay. Well, I strongly recommend that you read The Alchemist. The lake was so devastated after Narcissi passed away, after he drowned, not because he was staring at himself or whatnot, not because the lake missed him, but because the lake missed the way that Narcissi made the lake feel about herself. Okay, the lake was able to see her own greatness and her own beauty reflected in the eyes of the narcissist. Okay, sometimes when you're looking at people like me, you're not looking at me. You're looking at what you admire in me that you miss in yourself. So what I want to suggest that you guys do is read The Alchemist. Take time to say things like, I'm a genius. And then just understand what that genius is for you. Okay? Jimmy, Dave, you can be the next Anthony Robbins. You motivate people to strive. I love you, my brother. You people are good people. The thing is I'm just the guy who's going around telling you guys, love yourselves, you're enough. I don't need to get paid to do that. I told people in the book, you don't have to monetize being a good person. Lisa, mental health care is a big issue as well as medical care. Everything is geared towards medication, medication, medication. Thank you. People talk, and that's a big part of school safety too. We have to look at the lessons that we're being taught by our children right now. They're saying, I don't feel safe in school. I want to come home safe. Mom and dad, if you're not going to talk to people about it, I'm going to talk about it. I am going to step out. Let's help our children feel safe and understand that the best way to do that is to help these children that don't have a mom and dad that are showing up for them. Help these children to understand that there are people in their communities that they can reach out to, and that mental health does not need to be a negative stigma. Mental health can, in fact, just give you insights into who you are as a person so that you can understand your way out. I had this amazing conversation with my buddy Andrew, and I'm going to talk about this here in a second, because actually mental illness is the next thing that we're going to talk about here. I went and I met with my buddy Andrew, and instead of, when I couldn't get checked into a center, I decided, you know what? Where was I happiest last? Where will I find my therapy? And I decided that I was going to find it in the studio, playing music. And so I went out to go see Andrew, and he told me something that was very big for me, that was huge for me. I was struggling. I told him, and I was crying, and I said, brother, I am just so sick of waiting for the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm just trying to freaking enjoy the tunnel, my brother. And he says, you are the light. He said, David, you burn so brightly that you freak people out. He said, and right now you're doing it with your music. He said, what I suggest that you do, you burn at a 12, scale it back to a 7. Understand that you are the light. Stop looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. Be the light. Enjoy your own light. And that's what I want to suggest to everyone here that is watching this. Understand you are the light. You don't have to wait for everybody else to tell you this. Enjoy your own light. Enjoy your own radiance. understand your design, find your genius. Ara. Okay, so prescription medication. We're going to talk about this for a second here, because this is one of the big things that kept popping up again and again and again on my message. And like I said, I was returning Facebook messages for over 4 hours this morning. Prescription meds is the big one that kept popping up. And again, whether it is the VA or whether it is your psychologist, we are dumping meds down people's throats like crazy. And it bums me out to an extreme. So what did I have happening? I had a lot of people writing me saying, hey, David Serpa, I'm off my meds. Hey, David Serpa, I decided to stop taking medication. I decided to stop dumping anxiety meds down my throat. I decided to stop dumping meds down my throat so that I could sleep. And you know what? Good for you. I'm not a doctor. I am not a psychologist. People say, "Oh, you're not qualified to give people advice about prescription medication." You know who's qualified to give people advice about prescription medication? All the people that have been giving people prescription medication, and people are dying and they're killing themselves at crazy rates. And do you know what they all don't suffer from a lack of? Prescription medication. So maybe we should spend a little bit less time looking at people saying, hey, you know what? You're broken, you're broken, you're broken, you're broken. And say, hey, you know what? You are not a series of the things that have happened to you. That's your story. You got through it. You can help other people. You are not only okay, you're better for it. Okay, I'm going to talk about it in my community, and I'm glad you're discussing it now. We're a team of people here to help, to be here to make a difference. And I tell people all the time, if you're working in real estate and you are not about your community, go sell cars. Go do something else. This series of roofs that we all live underneath, this is a community. It doesn't need to feel so disgusting all the time. We can literally be there for one another. So, hey, I'm not a licensed psychologist. I'm not a doctor, but if you decide that you want to go off your medication, that's fine with me. If you want to look into prescription medication like cannabis, I'm okay with that. You only need to watch so many of my videos or listen to so many of my podcasts to understand that I am a cannabis advocate. No veteran ever ate cannabis to death. No veteran ever ate a brick of cannabis and killed themselves. Nobody ever smoked a bowl and went and shot up a school. It comes from the earth. And I understand that you can make a case for a lot of things coming from the earth, but it does not affect your brain in a long-term way for a long period of time. Guys, break the dogma about cannabis. Cannabis is literally a lifesaver. And so if that's something that you're willing to look into, you can literally get your license, if you live in California, online by doing a Skype interview and then have it dropped off at your house. And if you've got a problem with me talking about cannabis, I don't really care. Okay, next. Speaking of my run for governor, this is part of what ended up being a big thing, a big catalyst for me deciding, you know what, forget this. I'm done. I'm done talking about this stuff. I'm done trying to help people. I'm exhausted. It's another part of the reason why I tell people, hey, you don't need me. But at the end of the day, this is what happened. We had an opportunity to get 65 signatures by people that were licensed in California that could vote in California. Now, as somebody that has thrown free community events for this community, had 5,000, 7,000 people show up, I figured if I gave people 48 hours to get ready to sign up, that would be enough time. That would be adequate. And I told people, I'm not going to go out again. I'm not going to look again. I'm not going to collect additional signatures. When we were heading up to pass off the signatures, we had a couple of extra hours. And Kate and Zach and several other people said, why don't you stop at a VA center along the way? Why don't you stop and talk to veterans along the way? Go to a grocery store. And I told people, I'm not going to beg to run for governor. It's something that I am willing to do, not something that I necessarily even want to do. I already served. And do you know what happened? I got a lot of hate from a lot of people that kept saying things like, shave your beard. People don't want to have a guy with a beard running for governor. And I kept telling people, there is no shortage of polished turds for you to choose from. If you want a guy with a beard who's going to say the things that are really on his mind, that is going to be honest with you guys about the things that I've done, who is battle tested, who is a scarred leader, I'm willing to serve. We ended up having, I think, 73 signatures, 75 signatures. Not enough of them were valid. That's okay. I ended up deciding I'm done helping the rest of the world. I'm going to help myself. So that's what I did. I decided to recalibrate everything, recalibrate my business, recalibrate my life, go to Boulder Crest, Colorado, seek some post-traumatic growth, and just kind of be done with all of this stuff. What are you shaking your head at, Chrissy, you stinker butt? That being said, I've got some fantastic new reading for you guys. Okay. You gonna join me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Come
on in here.
Hi, guys.
Kate's coming in.
Come in.
Okay.
Oh, there we are.
There we are. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got some new reading for you guys. We already talked about The Alchemist, which of course was fantastic. Good call. Bringing you on. So apparently she was disappointed with me about something, but you know what?
Because you're not running for governor.
Because I'm not running for
I
governor.
think people are kind of heartbroken.
Well,
It's okay though.
I don't know. Running for governor wasn't so fun. Dumb people with even dumber opinions.
Oh. Okay.
Hey, girl. Okay, well,
Hey.
Chrissy, I'm not totally sure what you're talking about right now, but we'll get you, girl.
About
Okay.
your beard.
About my
Opinions
beard.
About your beard and stuff. Opinions.
Oh, well, you know what?
Ridiculous opinions.
Yeah, people are dumb, and there's no shortage of dumb people, and that's why so many people are leaving California. Oh, yeah, but this is what I was going to talk about California.
Oh, cool.
We're so glad that we actually prolonged this here for a second. Guys, I love California. If you want to leave California, you could get the hell out, quite honestly. So, we don't need you. We're going to talk about California love here for a second, and then we're going to get to the reading. If you don't love California, we don't need you. You can leave. You can get out of here. You can give up on this state. The people that are here that either don't have a choice in being here or are here because they're a pioneer and because there's no further west to go. You can't give up and move any further west than this. This is the fight. This is the fight. People here in California, we don't give up on a whole lot of crap. We take to the streets, we riot, we march, we get pissed off, we get angry, we protest. And so people don't like the fact that we are loud. But guess what? Get used to it. That's one of the reasons why we're going to start making music, because the things that I want to say, you can't say on a big stage on the way that I want to and not get arrested. So that's why we're getting into music. But at the end of the day, there's no further west to go than this, guys. We can't go any further west. California's it. This is the battleground. This is the fight. This is prime real estate. So if you guys want to fight for California, fight for California. If you don't want to fight for California, you want to leave, we'll list your house on the way out.
You have options.
You have options. We'll be here selling the last houses, but at the end of the day, not everyone's going to give up on California because California's awesome. Anything to add, Kate?
California's amazing. I moved away from California for almost 7 years, and I knew that I was going to be back. So California is awesome.
That's right. That's right.
You can't.
West Coast.
The West Coast, baby.
That West Coast hip hop.
That's
I'm
right.
telling you.
All the way. Mm.
You're there in California, you're just everywhere else.
Get in or get out.
Get in or get out. It's a wild, wild west. Anyway, so getting on to recommended reading. I'm glad you decided to join me, Stinker. Okay, so
what are we reading?
Reading.
Oh.
First things first, good books are meant to be loaned out, even with private notes in them. The Alchemist is currently being loaned out to Andrew Herringer, and he just finished it. And it's fantastic. And I'm going to be getting it back when I go back in the studio on the 7th and 8th with Mama Fancy here. Okay, go for it.
No, I was going to say, The Alchemist really is an awesome book. You
told me about The Alchemist.
It was the first book, kid you not, The Alchemist was the first book that was ever given to me.
Mm-hmm.
ever by my cousin. When I was going through the hardest time in my life, my cousin showed up at my house with The Alchemist and this beautiful bookmark in it.
Yeah.
And I sat down and I read it like that afternoon. I just read it, and I felt so refreshed, and something changed. It was a great book. It was really cool. It was a very beautiful experience.
It's beautiful.
It's a great book.
The people that you love will never take you from the things that you love. Okay?
Yes. I like that.
The people that you love will never take you from the things that you love.
Where did you get that from?
I don't know. I just came up with it.
It's really fancy.
I just got it from the ether just
now.
now.
We should write that down.
Okay. Yeah. Well, why not? You guys can quote me if you want. But so it's kind of that concept of being a desert woman, being a woman of the desert. And we all have our journeys. We all have our things that we go on. And, I'm looking at Kate and I tell her, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What makes you happy?
Raising babies makes me happy right now.
But you're also you work your butt off.
I do.
Act like you don't.
I love to work. No, it's not a real estate book. It is a soul book. What is The Alchemist?
You sold my house. I gave up. The fight is everywhere. I appreciate you, Chris. I'm only giving you a hard time. You're awesome. Oh, that was the wrong one. Is this a real estate book? No, it is not. So The Alchemist is it's fiction. It was originally written in Spanish, I think, in Brazil in like the 50s or whatnot, re-released in American, and re-released in English, one of the top-selling books in the world.
It's also the only book that is sold in like the most. It had to be translated into over, I forget
like
how many
54
languages.
languages or something crazy like that.
Because it's so popular.
It got translated into so many languages that I don't even know how many languages. I didn't even know that many languages exist. But it's fantastic. It starts off with, if you're not hooked after the prologue, I don't know what to tell you. But it's only like 180 pages. Yeah. You could read it in an afternoon if you are a speed reader. If you're somebody that keeps 15 books going at a time like me, it'll take a little bit more time. Wow. My newest book.
I can't wait to read that.
This is a big thing that keeps going around. I picked up on this by one of the great minds right now out there, Joshua Goldberg. I'm going to put this up here. Was this Man's Search for Meaning?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the big Man's Search for Meaning. Okay, so one of the big minds right now in post-traumatic stress and in the veteran community in general is a guy named Josh Goldberg. He helped start a program and develop a program through Boulder Crest, Colorado, called the PATH program, which is healing one veterans family at a time. Okay, not one veteran at a time, not one person at a time, veterans. And I'm talking, when I was there was a chaplain that was there was a firefighter that was there was an Army veteran, there were Marine Corps veterans. Guys, the struggle is real. Struggle well. So Joshua Goldberg brought this man into my life. Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl is a guy that is a Holocaust survivor. He was a big a big thinker at the time when Freud was out there. There's a lot of the big intellectuals that were out there, and he ended up being stuck in a concentration camp. And he has so many fantastic quotes that I love about. You have two choices, and but that's not the one that I want to tell you about right now. I want to tell you about this other one. But okay. Two fantastic Viktor Frankl quotes that inspired me to decide to read this book. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of human freedoms. To choose one's attitude in any set of circumstances is to choose one's own way. Choose your attitude. You can't choose the things that happen to you, but you can choose the way that you decide to respond to them, the way that you decide to act or to not respond to them. The second quote that is also Viktor Frankl, and again, Man's Search for Meaning, fantastic book from what I'm hearing from Joshua Goldberg and so many other veterans and intellects in the post-traumatic growth field. Life can be pulled by goals just as surely as it can be pushed by drives. Life can be pulled by goals just as surely as it can be pushed by drives. Guys, I went around telling everybody in the world, be a millionaire. Mm-hmm. You can be a millionaire. It's not that hard. This is how to do it. Do you need to be a millionaire? Do you need helicopter money? Do you need a purple Lambo? No. Chances are you probably don't need those things. Chances are they probably would not contribute to your happiness. Trust me, I made over $600,000 in back-to-back years, and it did not make me any happier. In fact, I felt more burdened. So take a step back. Think about what's really important. Okay, next book. Tiny Beautiful Things. This kind of kicked it off for me. This was like and you could tell by how much I've read this book that it has become like a Bible for me. I love Tiny Beautiful Things.
No matter what you're going through in life, this is the book you should pick up. It's for everything.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. You will learn about the connectivity of all things through this book. Now, not a licensed psychologist, not a lot of this, not a lot of that, but not super qualified to talk about these things. But she talks beautifully, eloquently, and really about real topics. Fantastic human being.
Yeah, she's the best because she's real.
Real.
She doesn't pull any punches. It's like having a conversation with your best friend. It's really, really good.
One of the best things that I like to say about The Educated is comes from a Ronald Reagan quote. And he's talking about the people on the left, but he says it's not that the people on the left are so whatever. They're so educated. It's just that they know so much that isn't true. And I look at psychologists, and they know so much that isn't true. I look at a lot of these educated people. A lot of these people, I got a bachelor's degree, and I'm like, homie, you were doing keg stands while mom and dad was paying for your bachelor's degree. I know people that got a bachelor's degree that work for it.
I would say, listen here.
But I also know, but you also, what did you get your degree in?
Business administration.
Business administration.
Sure.
How many people out there are getting BFAs that don't necessarily need to be going to school, that are off doing keg stands, and then they're getting commissioned as officers, or I'm just kidding, kind of. Okay. My next book that I would like to, and Cindy Kelly, I'm taking that this is probably about Tiny Beautiful Things. I know a lot of rich, poor people. Word, girl, right? I know a lot of rich, poor people. There are people that are absolutely poor of soul. What is important to you? 4-hour work week. And this is actually something that I was just talking about with Kate about in the kitchen right before coming on. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We had a very real conversation about the new rich.
Yeah.
Right before coming on. And we were talking about the hiatus from real estate that we've decided to take. I stopped taking appointments, like September, October of last year.
Yeah.
And I knew that I needed to take a break. And then I stopped meeting with people in December of last year. And then I completely stopped meeting with people in March and kind of swore off real estate altogether. But at the end of the day, I haven't taken an appointment in 6, 7, 8 months. I'm still making money. I'm still continuing to do things, and I'm still continuing to help people make money. I was talking to Kate, and she said, hey, David, I'm still happy to take on some clients. I'm still happy to talk to people that want to work with us. And if you want to work with Kate, you have her number. Okay, you can absolutely do that. But I was telling her, I said, the thing is, we're so good at teaching people and helping people learn how to make money that with EXP, quite honestly, we can live like we are rich. We don't have to put off the millionaire lifestyle to enjoy the lifestyle now. So what is the new rich? What is this fantastic book all about? 4-hour work week. It is about living the life that you want to live now, not putting it off for later, guys. What do rich people really do? They spend a little bit more time with their family. Okay, they spend a little bit more time maybe doing yoga in the morning. Maybe they eat a little bit better than you do. Do those things now. Spend more time with your family now. Eat better now. Start doing yoga and meditating now.
Yes.
Right? Stop putting that stuff off, guys, and stop feeling guilty about the time that you are taking in your own life to do these things.
Yeah, the struggle is going to be real. Like the last 2 mornings, I woke up and I'm struggling like crazy trying to okay, I need to work, but wait a minute, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to grab my yoga mat and I'm going to do a little bit of yoga. I'm going to do it because it's important. So.
And you did your yoga?
Heck yeah, I did. I even did it today because it was cold outside. I did it upstairs.
You almost were doing it in the background of my video yesterday when we were talking about meditation.
But I was keeping it low. Otherwise, you'd have seen a lot of this. But I still got it done.
So so I strongly recommend going out and reading this book. And so what have an abundance mindset. That's exactly right. You guys are going to be great. Thank you, Chrissy. Guys, have an abundance mindset. You're absolutely right. Do the things that you want to do now. Don't put that off. Don't put it off until your golden years. You have an able body. You have an able mind. What is it that you would do if you could not fail? If you could not fail, really have a very real conversation with yourself over the course of the next day, week, months, whatever, and spend some time thinking about what you really want. And quite honestly, the best way that you could get in touch with yourself is by clearing your mind with something like meditation, transcendental meditation, yoga. Don't always be thinking about what you want. Take these moments to clear out. It's like taking a shower so that you can mentally think about the things that you do want. The average retiree dies 6 years after they retire.
Whoa.
There's that. Jim Carrey tells this beautiful story about his dad, about how his dad wanted to be a comedian, but he put it off and he put it off and he put it off because he decided that he wanted to do what was safe. He wanted to raise a family. He wanted to retire someday, yada, yada, yada. And he ends up getting fired a year before retirement. And all of the safety and security and everything that he invested was now gone overnight. And he didn't spend those 30 years doing the things that he wanted to do. So find ways to systematize your work. Find ways to work as part of a team, work as part of a tribe, work as part of a group. Guys, I'm building mine at EXP if you guys want to be a part of it. That's what you want to do. So I'm working with guys like David Golden. I'm working with my sister. I'm working with Kate. I'm working with, I'm having big announcements that are probably going to be coming from New Jersey, that are going to be coming here locally. I have some mega agents, 3 in the top 10 that might be coming over here very soon. And I keep telling them the same thing. They say, David, I'm going to have an answer for you Monday. David, I'm going to have an answer for you Monday. I said, it's not going anywhere. But more and more people are joining every day.
I think it's like 250 people a week right now or something like that.
250 people a week are joining EXP. You're either going to get on the wave while it's going up, or you're not. And that's okay. Hey, not everybody that watching is participating in real estate. Yeah. What I'm telling you is honor your design. Do what you are extraordinarily good at. Do that to a point that you are productive without overdoing it. You don't have to be in the office for the extra 30 hours a week twiddling your thumbs, doing things that are not productive just so that you are seen in the office. The new rich understands not work-life balance, but efficiency. Mm-hmm. Be efficient at everything that you are doing. If you are relaxing, relax efficiently. If you are spending time with your family, spend time with your family efficiently. And when you are working, work efficiently. And don't lie to yourself about what that looks like. And I can tell you this much. You don't have to work 40 hours a week to become extraordinarily wealthy in real estate. Will you be able to become extraordinarily wealthy in real estate working 4 hours a week right now? No, you won't. That's just not the truth, okay? You need to work 20 hours a week. I've already broken this down for you working in real estate to get to a point to where you're making 6 figures. 20 hours a week, that's it. Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate if you want to read it. If not, that's okay too, okay? Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate. It's actually that book right there. So yeah, you know what? I might as well just hold that up for a second. We're talking about books.
Heck yeah.
Let's do this. Let's make it good and proper.
Okay.
So you don't have to work 100 hours. Okay. You don't have to get freaking crazy. But at the end of the day, you should be doing the things that are going to make you effective and are going to make you a lot of money hourly. Think about the things that you can make $250 an hour on. Think about the things that you can make thousands of dollars a month in while you only work 10 hours a week. Do those things. Machine Gunner's Guide.
I love that you have this like that.
Good. I put that logo in. Do you like that?
I like that a lot. I'm just not seeing it.
It's my little recruiting tool that I can make these videos and justify spending this much time online.
Oh.
The Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate.
There it is.
Let's see.
Turn that puppy around.
Here.
Heck yes. Woo!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Read it. Hey, look at that guy. Does he look like he's messing around with you? You guys are checking out the back end on Be Live too right now. That's what I'm looking at. All right. There it is. We're going into a portal here right now. Does somebody at the door?
No, I think it's the ice maker.
Okay. Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate, guys. I strongly suggest reading this book. Okay. Why do I strongly suggest reading this book? Because I'm not going to get together with you for 15 minutes and talk about real estate. I'm not going to talk to you for 30 minutes on real estate over the phone. I'm not going to get together and have a one-on-one with you. I'm not going to meet with your brokerage. I'm not going to do all of these different things. Read the book. If you want to book me to speak with larger groups of people to help them educate themselves so that they can make a bunch of money, I'm happy to do that, but I'm not going to make you rich. And I'm not going to sit down and meet with you on a one-on-one level because all of the information that I've compiled over the last 5 years is in that book. And it's not just about real estate. I have very real life lessons that were earned in blood in that book. I have very real life lessons that were earned in a traumatic childhood. I have very real life lessons that were earned through divorce, through not finding balance. I wrote that book. That book is what sent me over. I can just tell you that right now. The Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate put me over the edge. MGGRE put me over. And why? Why did Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate put me over the edge? And you saw this. Mm-hmm. I wrote 587 pages in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks. How many nights did I stay up all night writing?
Too many.
Too many. Guys, I wrote that book and I was just like, I have to get it out of me. It is the realest book about real estate that you will ever watch or read in your entire life. I guarantee you that because I put it all on the line. I told you the 100% truth of everything that happened in my career so that you can avoid it, so that you can get after it in your life. And I ended up checking myself into a VA center because of it. I can just tell you that right now. Because of the war stories that I told in that book, because of the life stories that I told in that book, and then reliving them as I was telling the story through the audiobook actually set me over. I took like 3 weeks off, and then I started recording the audiobook for the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate, and my power cut off while I was recording the audiobook, and it just about sent me into a freaking tailspin. And so I'm just telling you guys, that book is rough, and it is raw, and it is explicit, and it is real.
But it is so good.
And there's a ton of value in it. And I broke it down in first year, second year, third year, and fourth year and beyond, which is your CEO stuff, so that you can understand what are first year practices that you can do to start practicing, making yourself money right now. What are second year and team building things that you could do? What are third year things that you can start doing to start removing yourself? And what is the fourth year stuff that you could start doing so you could start attracting wealth and start thinking about a work-life balance that's a little bit more healthy than the way that I actually live my life? I want to help you to avoid the situations that I got myself into. So Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate, 4-hour work week, man's search for meaning, and tiny beautiful things. And now I'm going to get to crazy goals. You know what? You were very brave to write that. Thank you, Mom. My mom is one of the few people that have actually read the whole thing. Most people are like, I'm 50% of the way into it. It's so good, but it's long. It's a lot of work. Thank you, Peter Williams. Pipelines, teams, residuals. Wealth is defined in many ways, but time with the family makes us the richest. Bless you. Thank you, Amy Brown.
I think Peter had said a little ways down there in the comments, any good yoga apps. I don't use yoga apps for the same reason that I don't pay for a gym membership, because it's ridiculous.
Preach.
So you can find a lot of really great yoga classes and teachers just on YouTube. And I do everything at home. I do not go to the gym. I don't pay for a membership, nor do I pay for yoga apps. So I know there's a lot of good ones out there. There's a lot of great ones, but you can find a lot of great stuff on YouTube, just saying.
You know what's so cool, guys? We're actually in the information age.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that a lot of people like to get lost and looking for cat videos and watching videos of people playing with their dogs or babies laughing.
And dogs riding scooters.
And dogs riding scooters. And I like to do this. I like to do this as well. Okay. But okay. So we are in the information age. Use it. Use it. You have more information that is available to you at your fingertips than ever before. There's more technology in this phone right here than was used in these massive mega computers that put men on the moon.
You want to change your life? I have
Talk to me, girl.
No, well, it's not gonna be what you're thinking. But this last week, so I've had the watch, the Apple Watch.
Hey, let me go heat up my coffee. Can you
go for it?
How many cook videos? I don't know what that
How
means.
to cook videos have me hooked.
Oh, for YouTube.
Yeah.
Talk about YouTube for a second. I'll be right back.
YouTube's amazing. Those cook videos are, and you know what's crazy about those cook videos is they speed everything up. So they make you feel like you can walk in the kitchen right now and in 20 minutes just have a feast like prepared. It really gets me motivated and gets me excited. I feel like I can just go in and do just about anything I want to do. But YouTube's great, especially that's where I find all my yoga stuff. But the Apple Watch. So I've had this for 2 years sitting in my drawer. I don't know how to work it because I really don't like electronics all that much. It's just, I get real frustrated real quick. And I prefer to spend time with talking to people face to face. This is what I like to do. But I took it out and I started messing around with it. I got it synced up to my phone. I haven't touched my phone. Like the other day, I had my phone upstairs charging for like 6 hours and I didn't even have to look at it. It is so convenient. It's wonderful. You can text everything, phone calls, the whole nine. And I don't feel like I'm constantly I don't feel the need to just constantly be on it, text, whatever. I just send what I need to send and it's fantastic. And it's checking my heart rate. So I know when I'm all stressed out and I need to calm it down a little bit, it'll tap. I don't know how to change the settings yet, but it'll tap and it'll tell me my heart rate's way the heck up. So I'm like, oh, I need to balance it out a little bit. So as far as I would highly recommend the Apple Watch. It's changing my life over this last week. I feel so much more balanced and free. It's been wonderful. So that's my plug for the week. Get an Apple Watch if you can. Oh shit! Sorry.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Uh-oh, we just got banned. We just got banned. We're done.
So sorry. Apple Watch, life changing. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's really telling you.
I was listening. I was captivated. I'm buying one.
It's great.
I'm buying one right now. But you know what? I'm not buying another one of.
No.
My mother effing MacBook. Holy Moses. Holy Moses, that iMac. I almost put my fist through it. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. It's been very frustrating right now.
Yeah. I thought I lost all of my podcasts, which we'll talk about here in a second.
We didn't. There is
but you know what?
writing.
Let's talk about that information age here for a second.
Yes, go.
Guys, I am learning all of this stuff that I'm learning. We want morning yoga with Katie and YouTube.
I've been doing it in my sweats with my hood on, and I wear like a blanket to get real cozy, and I get down under my blanket to do like the warm up stuff. But I'm really liking it. And
I appreciate every minute of it. As a man, I just want to say that I appreciate all the yoga. It's been life-changing for me.
Well, now that I know that, I'll start wearing more fun stuff instead of sweats.
I'm not complaining, I'll tell you. Okay, so the information age. Yes, we love videos about babies laughing. Yes, we love all this stuff. But you know what? Take a minute and really open up your mind. Look at Myers-Briggs. Look at your Myers-Briggs. Study yourself. Take a minute and find out about things that are happening in your world. Guys, we are breaking down the barriers of communication. We're not going to need these big major news outlets anymore. Down with these clowns. We the gap. We're entering into the information age. Okay. And it happens every 30 years. We have this massive connectivity that comes along. Love comes along. In the 60s, it happened. In the 90s, it happened. That's why Woodstock made a big comeback. In the 60s, Woodstock blows up. Everybody, love, connection, music, connectivity.
It's coming back.
It goes away. The 90s, it happens again. Love, connection, music, Woodstock, Dave Matthews Band. Right? It was fun. We all had a good time. It's coming back in the 20s, but the difference between the love cycle that we're coming on right now is that we're more connected than ever before.
Well, we're more connected to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, girl, talk to me.
It's just it's also an individual awakening. Everybody's falling in love with themselves, which is great.
Love.
Yes. Hi, Andrew.
Hello, Andrew, who my mom calls Pumpkin. Audiobooks on there too. That's absolutely right. Guys, audiobooks, podcasts.
Yes.
All of this crap.
Amazing.
Like
podcasts are
YouTube. Great. Yes, I know that there's super hot people on there that are talking about stupid things or like blowing up balloons or I don't know, like weird foot videos or, maybe like, I don't know. Like,
I'm going to start balloon animal videos on YouTube. I'm going to start my own YouTube channel.
She makes balloon animals.
Balloon animals. It's going to be great.
I'm sure that there's already one out there. Maybe you could just jump in, start tagging each other.
I feel like I'm going to be able to step it up. Yeah.
I will subscribe.
Oh, good.
Okay. So, okay. Love. And we're going to talk about Andrew. Actually, Andrew, if you want to stick around, you're number 10 on here. We're going to talk about you here in just a few minutes or long minutes. Who knows? Okay. Crazy goals. People talk to me all the time about goals. And it's one of those things that I talk to people about. Raise your goals. Why are you not? Balloon animals at the next recording session are a must. We'll see you,
I'll
homie.
make you a killer parrot.
We'll see you on the 7th, bruh. I installed the garbage disposal using it. That's technology.
Yes, YouTube. Yeah, it's great.
You guys are wild. Okay. We're really letting our hair down. We're cooking. We're installing garbage disposals.
What did I do the other day? I was on YouTube and I figured something out like entirely off of YouTube. I was very proud of myself.
We're doing what we need to do. United. Love garbage disposals, cookbooks.
Word.
YouTube. Okay.
2 times.
Suckers. Okay. So I went around all over the country talking to people about goals, encouraging people to make 7-figure goals. Well, you know what? I should put this back up.
What?
It's just like good advertising.
I'll hold it for you.
No, let's put this up right here.
Oh.
Let's be intentional here.
All right.
Let's use this advertising space. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That looks really good right there.
I like it too.
In the house you sold. Yes, ma'am. I helped Chrissy leave California. She had a fantastic experience. If anybody else would like to leave California, give us a ring. Okay. Set your goals. Okay. Don't listen to what I was saying before about, 7-figure goals and $1 million commitments and blah, 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 blah. Take a minute. Think about, why do I want $1 million? What would I do with $1 million? My beard's getting really out of hand on this side right here. What would I do with $1 million? What would you do with it? Who flipping cares? You don't need that much money. I'm just telling you. There gets to a point to where the excess, the surplus, actually becomes a deficit. It's no longer something that it becomes beneficial. If you are not going at it from a place of abundance, from a place of balance, you can become a slave to these nasty goals. So my goals that I tell people, the only goals that you should be setting for yourself, I want to be able to look at myself in the mirror at the end of the day today, and I want to be able to say, I'm happy with the way that I lived my life today. That's it. I want to live and when you get up in the morning, I want to live my life in a way that will make me happy with the way that I live my life at the end of the day. And if you're sitting there and you're booking appointments to meet with people, if you're answering messages, if you're doing these different things that are not making you happy, say to myself, will I be happy with getting this done by the end of the day? And quite honestly, there's a lot of people, especially the way that we talk about these things in the West. My God, relax. Did you go to the gym? Are you in the gym? I don't know about you. Did you make time for the gym? Shut up about the gym. Just shut up about it. I don't know whatever deficit that you're working from that makes it so that you have to do that every day, but that's okay. Stop pushing it on the rest of us. Don't make me feel inadequate because you have to live your entire life around this one thing. And this is what I'm going to tell you here really quick, because listen, there are people that are super fit that are also super well balanced. And this is what I'm going to tell you. There's this great book called that was written by Sherwood Anderson.
I like where we're going.
Winesburg, Ohio. Okay, and it's a book that I read while I was a junior in high school. But Mr. Block has recommended it to me. There you go, Andrew. And he talked about how we have all these things in our lives that we love, and they're all good things. Your wife, your kids, music, real estate, business, speaking engagements, helping people, whatever. All of these things are good things, and they're beautiful, and they're good until you take one of them and call it your own and live for nothing else. And at that point, it becomes a grotesque. And that's why so many women struggle with things like empty nest syndrome to an extreme, because they were not living at all for themselves. And so now they're in a situation where their kids have left the house, and for the first time in their entire life, they're saying, oh my God, what makes me happy? Parrot balloon animals make me happy.
This is so true. Yes. I think about this constantly. I'm like, I have to remain in balance, because when all these kids leave, I'm just going to be so sad without them. You know, like I feel like I live my life in balance, and I know I'll be just fine. But so many women struggle with that.
Yeah.
Their kids leave, and geez, Seth and Cammie are going to graduate the exact same year and probably go to college the exact same year. So it's going to happen double with Seth and Cam. So anyways.
Find balance. Like what do you enjoy? And so Chrissy said, people don't give anymore. That's the problem. That's a huge part of the problem. But the other part of the problem, quite honestly, is that people overgive. The people that are overgiving are absolutely being devastated. People like me, you know what I mean, who are just like give and give and give and give to such an unhealthy balance that they don't have anything for themselves. And so what I'm encouraging you to do before you get to that empty nest portion of your life, stop over giving to your children. I think that you'll actually find that a lot of you are giving from a deficit. And because of what you're giving from a deficit, the things that you are giving are not actually great things. I feel like there's a time and a place for travel ball. There's a time and a place for competitive cheer. There's a time and a place for incredible academics or whatnot for your kids. But the thing is, we get so caught up in that crap that we have no balance, for sure, no balance. We get so caught up in that crap that our children aren't given the opportunity to be children. Of course, I coach basketball, and I love to coach basketball. I also coach baseball. She coaches soccer. But I had this parent that was talking to me, and he said, "Oh, Serpa," he goes, "You know what, dude? As much as I'd love to get my kid into basketball, and I'd love to have you coach him if I did, I'm not going to get him into basketball." He goes, "I'm 5'8". I'm never going to get my kid into basketball. He'll never get into the pros. He'll never get a college scholarship." And I was like, dude, your kid's 9 years old. Let him play basketball. Let him enjoy basketball. Let him play it for the love and the joy of the sport. Because right now it's 5, 6, 7 inches in one direction or another, but let him enjoy the sport. A lot of times we spend so much money keeping up with things like travel ball, and we bank on the fact that these kids are going to go to college and that we're going to get this back in the back end. And we don't realize the time that we are losing is invaluable. We're not going to get that back. And in fact, we're overspending, and we're putting so much pressure on our kids to perform so that they can go into college, that when they're 15, 16 years old and they're starting to find themselves and they decide that they don't want to play sports, it ends up becoming a major point of content between parent and child. And I see it over and over again. And so if I can help you with that, find balance. Don't overgive to your kids, because you'll find that you're not actually overgiving. And I'm getting ready to drop the mic here for a second and tell you the truth. A lot of times you're not overgiving, we're over controlling. We want people to be successful so much, and we want our children to be successful so much, and we love them so much that we're giving and giving and giving to them to an extreme that we actually do not look at our own lives, and then our kids end up looking at us and feeling extraordinarily overwhelmed. You don't just have to sit there and look pretty if you don't want to. As a stay-at-home mom,
you're hitting it. You're just hitting it. I'm letting you just speak to the people right now. You're spot on. You're spot on. And you're going to spend all that money that you think you're going to save in scholarships and whatever the heck else, you're spending right now. You're already spending it.
It's been 10 years since I've done anything I really love. I have to really sit and think about it. And that's one of the things that I was talking about with my ex. I kept telling her, what do you love? What do you want? What do you enjoy? What makes you, and this is the thing. It's not about being happy. Happy's a temporary state of mind, okay? It's not about happy. It is about joy. And when you're struggling well, human beings love struggle. We love to strive for things. We love to reach for things. We love to try to achieve great things. We love the struggle. But what is it that you want to struggle well at? What is it that you want to push for? It's even just being a mom in general. Me too, Chrissy.
Chrissy, make a list. I had to do that recently. I was a stay-at-home mom for 8 years, and people start to ask you, well, what do you want to do? What are you doing with your life? Like, what do you want to do, really? And you have to sit back and think about it. You're like, well, all I do is I'm a mom. I carpool, and I make sure everyone's fed and everyone has everything they need, and we're volunteering enough,
which is beautiful,
and we're being a good mom, and it's what you love to do. But sometimes, like, I wrote down a list about a month ago. You have to start with just sitting down and just writing it out, what you actually want, what you want to do, what you enjoy doing. Mm-hmm. That has absolutely nothing to do with the kids for the most part. Nothing. Just what you want.
Yeah. Because the thing is, and we're both in kind of an interesting situation that we have our kids 50% of the time.
Which makes it even harder.
Because you're put in a situation, a lot of times we end up to where between the two of us, we have kids probably 85-90% of the time.
Yeah.
And because just the way that it ends up overlapping. But when you have that free time, you're put in a situation like, holy crap, who am I? And I'm one of those people that I put a great deal of pride into being a dad. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love being a dad, and I dad hard. I play with these kids like freaking maniacs. But it goes right back to what we'd said before about being the light. Okay. You are the light. Burn at a 7. So I realized that I was giving so much to my kids and playing with them so hard that I would get to a point where I was actually in physical pain because I was playing so hard. And because I'm picking up all these kids, these 3, 5, 9, and 10-year-olds over my head and like throwing them onto the bed and being crazy, which I could do for about 10, 15 minutes. But I would play until the kids were tired. And for those of you that really play with kids, you know that kids get tired way after you get tired. And I would try to keep up with them. And so I would keep up and I would keep up and I would keep up and I would do it. And then I would get burned out. So really quick, let's talk about being a parent here for a couple more seconds and talk about these kid books that we want to throw out. Because I went around and I gave you guys my 4 favorite books that I've read over the course of the last year. I want to do the same thing right now for kids books so that we could talk about that. And then we're going to get back to our other updates that we have. And I'm trying to put these in labels so that you guys can kind of click around and go to the things that you're interested in. Okay, Ladybug Girl and the Bug Squad. I love Ladybug Girl and the Bug Squad. It is fantastic. One of the reasons why we love this book so much is it encourages the kids to really be thoughtful about themselves and about who they are, not just I'm Captain America or I'm Spider-Man or I'm Batman. And so the kids, after we got done doing this, they all wanted to build their own costumes and they wanted to participate and do crafts. And so it ended up being this really cool thing. We had this great experience with the kids where we read them the book. They love the book. They want to read it again and again and again and again. And then they're also coming up with their own superheroes, which has been a lot of fun. So, Monsters Beware. Whoever makes this into a movie is going to be a gazillionaire. This book is wonderful. I bought this for my son. It's about a little girl who is very good at, she wants to be a monster hunter and whatnot. And she plays in these games and she competes against these other villages. And it is so funny and hilarious. And it teaches these kids about being courageous. And there's so few things out there for little girls where the little girls are the heroes. And the little girls are out there smashing the bad guy. I'm like, look at this right here. This little girl just absolutely getting after it. Hi-ya! And then what it did for my son was it put him in a situation where he is now looking at girls, not just like, oh, girls have cooties or, oh, girls are this, but he's looking at girls like they're also out there swinging swords and they're also out there being cool and they're also out there doing cool things. And so this is his favorite book right now. And I read this to him constantly. And one of the other things I love just as a Marine, let me pull this up here for you really quick. Her dad is a double amp, which I think is super awesome. So if you guys take a look at this, her dad is a double amp. You can see him right there, and he's a tough dude. Carries around a sword and stuff. So the thing is like it's that sort of ways that we're I see books like this that are celebrating our veterans silently, quietly, because. How could a guy become a double amp back then and be rolling around in a wheelchair? I don't know, but it's super cool.
Isn't the mom a superhero as well?
The mom is a superhero. She actually, I'm not going to give away any spoiler alerts, but the mom is a superhero, and it tells her story right in the beginning. And guys, women are awesome. They're super awesome. We have to constantly tell our little boys that women are awesome. Way of the Warrior Kid. Navy SEAL wrote this book. He wrote another book that I really enjoy called Extreme Ownership. And, we've got kind of this stupid thing in our society where we're celebrating people being wimps and we're celebrating people being wieners and getting walked on by people. And you know what? I don't want my kid to be bullied. And not only that, I don't want my kid to be in a situation where they're allowing other kids to be bullied. They don't have to sit around and listen to a bunch of bull crap from a bunch of punks. Bully the bullies. It's a violent world, or it's a dangerous world. Be dangerous. It's not a bad thing to teach your children to be confident. It's not a bad. It has a Warrior Kid code, and it talks about what the Warrior Kid does. The Warrior Kid treats people with respect and helps out other people whenever possible. The Warrior Kid keeps things neat and is always prepared and ready for action. The Warrior Kid stays humble. The Warrior Kid works hard and always does his best. Kids love the idea of being superheroes. I love to foster that in them as much as possible and celebrate them being superheroes without them being violent. If you're big and powerful, what do you always have to be?
If you're big and powerful?
Yep, what do we always tell the kids?
You have to be nice.
You have to be nice. If you're big and powerful, you have to be nice. Okay. All right. So goals, don't get too freaking crazy with them. Maintain your composure. Think about what you really want. We're going to talk about the podcast.
I'm going to have to pop out in like 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. So can you tell everybody about what you've been doing with the podcast and with the audiobook to get everything ready?
Yeah. So we only have one more section to do on the audiobook that has to be uploaded and then just approved by ACX, which is the company that's going to be handling the audio files. So the audiobook is very close. And then we temporarily lost all of our podcast files in the cloud, the wonderful cloud. But Apple and I have spent several hours over the last 24 hours figuring out where they were. We found them, we've retrieved them. So now it's just a matter of editing and getting them uploaded so that you guys can listen to them. So I found it. Yeah, there's that. Huh. I wasn't sure where they were. They were out there floating in the digital world. And we found them.
You found them.
Found them in the cloud.
2 straight days from wake up till they closed. And then again, they called at 7:30 this morning. She jumped on and started getting It's About More Than Real Estate ready. Specifically, we've been looking for Long's podcast.
Yes, which was very long. And that was part of the problem. It's a very long, but it's really good. So
the difficulty is we have all these podcasts. We probably have, 26, 27 hours of podcast material.
Easy.
And we have over 20 hours of the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate audiobook.
It's taking up a lot of space.
It's taking up a lot of space. So what we're doing is we're working on getting all of that uploaded once and for all. We've done a lot of work on them, so much so to where we are exhausted by both of them, but she's the one that's pushing through to the end. I gave up. I was like, forget it. I'm done. Burn it to the ground.
But they're both going to be so good. the audiobook, The Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate. You'll have the audiobook. You'll be able to download it, and it's going to be wonderful. And then podcasts are coming, and those are going to be great. I'm so excited. I'm just listening to like the little clips as I'm finding all these in the cloud, and I'm like, oh God, these are going to be so good.
I mean, guys, Amanda Todd, Long Doan, Darren Campbell, Stephen Amaya, Oscar Tortola, Jermaine Massey.
Good stuff.
About more than real estate, about the real stuff. Okay. I'm actually really surprised that after like an hour and 20 minutes, we still have 2 people watching. I appreciate you, Chrissy and Faith. But you know what? We've had over 50 reactions. We've had 79 comments. We've had people tuning in and out. And this is a long video, and people like to watch this stuff at the end of the day on their drive home, in the morning on their driving to work, because not everybody's working at EXP and having a brief commute. Oh my gosh. My tech class, I forgot about it.
For goodness sakes.
I'm going to have to get on it at EXP.
Okay.
So we're going to have to do that again on Wednesday. Okay. Crap. All right. The one thing that I had to do, I was like, I don't have to commute. I have a commute to my front room, and then I forgot about it. Okay. Music and activism.
Okay. I love you guys. I'm going to pop out. I got to go to work.
It's just me and Chrissy at this point. Other people are going to watch us later.
Hi, guys.
Love you, Donald.
Thank you.
Okay, music and activism. Okay, and then I'm going to wrap this crap up and continue on with my day here. Okay, so Chrissy, it's you and me. Okay, so music and activism, and then like I said, we're gonna tune off for the day, and I'm going to see what I can do about getting that class at EXP about attracting and all the proper rules and practices. Okay, so music and activism. So we are releasing this project. It is going to be called Prometheus and Mama Fancy, and it's going to be me and Kate, and we're recording this music with Andrew. And what happened was I got to a point in my life where I needed a break, and I needed to take a step back. And so when I was waiting to get into the VA, I decided to go and make music with Andrew. And so what Andrew and I did was we made some music together. I'm going back in on the 7th and the 8th, and I'm leaving in the morning of the 9th. And what we are going to do is we're going to finish our 5-song EP. And the 5-song EP is probably going to be finished here pretty soon. We're going to start releasing music here in about 3 weeks. And then what we are going to do is we're going to get started right away on another 5-song EP. As I was talking to Kate, we had a very big conversation about what it means to become committed to music and what it means to take this step. I'm going to be taking a larger step back from real estate. I'm going to be taking a larger step back from making this more of a personal profile, and then I'm going to be doing more of my influencing through my music profile, which is going to be Prometheus. Kate is going to be Mama Fancy, so the project is going to be Prometheus and Mama Fancy. I'm going to go and put that up right now just because that's hilarious and I love the name. Prometheus and Mama Fancy. So, Andrew's here. Hey, Andrew. What's up, brother? So what Prometheus and Mama Fancy is, it is my music project that I'm concentrating on with Kate. We're going to start playing live with the Boot Band here in probably about 6, 7, 8 weeks. We're going to have about an 8-song set list that we're going to start playing. Why did I choose music? So why music? Well, there's a lot of different reasons. I can tell you right now, the reason why I chose music is because it is the only platform where I can say what I want to say without getting arrested. Because I have a lot that I want to say. And I'm going to get after it, and I'm going to say exactly what I want to say. I'm not going to pull any punches. We are going to be very committed to our veterans. We're going to be very committed to social activism, and I'm going to be doing it through music. And I'm not going to be pulling any punches. Every single song on my album will be explicit, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. Well, what kind of music are we making? I'm committed. I appreciate that, Chrissy. Yes, this is Andrew Herringer. Andrew Herringer is my record producer at this point, Andrew. And Andrew and I wrote a lot of this music together. We sat down, we played a lot of this music together. He's been a big mentor of mine. He's taught me a lot. We started playing music together when I was 15 years old. We started playing benefit concerts together. We were on the cover of the Sacramento Bee at one point when we were younger. I had pictures of me when I was 15, 16 years old playing benefit concerts with his band, and he would play them with our band. I've been very active my entire life in music. I took a step back while I was getting into real estate. And of course, Andrew is my musical shaman. So he was part of my transition back into health, wellness, balance. He was the one that told me, you are the light that I was talking about earlier. He's always been a very good friend of mine, an ENFP if you're curious. And Andrew and I show up for each other. And so I'm going to continue to make music. I'm going to continue to put it out. We're going to start playing live shows. We're going to play them regularly. We're going to start looking at being an opening band a couple of times a month, starting here in about 6 weeks. And what kind of music do we play? So dance and workout music. Why dance and workout music? Well, I'm going to be making dance and workout music because it is what people are actually listening to. Think about it. When are you listening to music the most? You're listening to it at the gym. So when I get to put that music out there, when I get to help people feel motivated, we're going to be making dance and workout music. A lot of me rapping. I'm going to be doing some MC stuff. I'm also going to be singing. Andrew's doing some singing on the album. Kate's doing a ton of singing on the album. And at the end of the day, it's going to be something that I'm really proud of. So we're going to be releasing 5 songs here shortly, 1 song at a time. And they've all are very important to me. Bones and Words is going to be the first single. Several of you have already heard Bones and Words. It is strongly political. It is heavy hitting, and it absolutely is an attack on the way that we are currently living our lives, our political structure, and I'm going to roast the hell out of it. Love to give. Love to give is about having an excess amount of love that you want to give to the world and them not necessarily receiving it the right way. I'm making a lot of this music for veterans. Our war doesn't have any music. Our genre, our world doesn't have a lot of people that are making music with substance. We have a lot of crap out there and a lot of vapid garbage. So we're going to get after it. The 3rd song is going to be called Looking for Jesus, and it's going to be about pursuing a faith, pursuing a religion that is being misrepresented by the people that are calling themselves Christians, keeping themselves safe in the confines of the church versus being out in the world and practicing and really making a difference. People tell me that all of my good works will all be in vain unless they're done in his name. And I'm telling you, you know what? If you're a good person and you're off doing good things, I don't care if you're a religious person or not. And if you're off attacking people because they're not doing works of faith, but they're just doing good works without the faith, then I'm going to roast you too. Okay, so there's that. So music is going to become a major release for me. The next song that I'm talking about is Grace. Show me some grace. Show me some faith. Give me an opportunity to work through these things. How could we know is the 5th song, and it's going to be about losing a relationship that you love, and how could we know that the roads we were going down led here? And it doesn't seem right to look in your eyes and wish you the best with the rest of your life. How could we know that the roads we were going down led here? And I'm going to be releasing a song called Peacocking, about being a bunch of colorful characters and dressing however the hell you want to dress. I'm going to release a song called Roast Everything, where I'm going to roast everything. That's going to be on my 2nd EP. And then we wrote a new song last night called Every Mile I Go. And it's about just pushing through all of these things. So that's that. At this point, I only have a few people watching. So if you guys have any questions, let me know here real quick. This has been a very long video, but at the end of the day, I have a lot of stuff that I've been looking to update you on. And there have been a lot of people that have been dealing with a lot of different things that have been reaching out to me. And I've been reading these things and I've been thinking, this is so brave that people are willing to share these stories with me. And my God, I hope that they're okay. So I reached out to, and I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not even going to give you a number because a lot of people wouldn't believe me, but I spent the entire morning reaching out to people, and I'm going to spend a lot of the afternoon finishing reaching out to people. But when all said and done, I probably will have spent 6, 7, 8 hours writing messages back to people. Some of these people need help. And so that's what we're going to be reaching out to through the music, through other things. But I wanted to make this video to remind everybody, you don't need me. You don't need me. Okay, so you're not going to be using Facebook anymore. I'm going to be using Facebook a little bit differently. I'm still going to be using Facebook as an individual, as a, and I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing for the next couple of months. But what you're going to see is there's going to be a gradual fade out. All of my social activism is going to start being targeted through Prometheus and Mama Fancy and the music. All of my real estate stuff is going to be started to be targeting through Serpa's EXP group, Serpa's EXP page, VA Rep, NAREB, all these different associations that I could continue to educate people through real estate is going to be out there online. I'm not going to continue to do it on my personal Facebook page. My personal Facebook page is going to be more for personal stuff, and I'm going to start thinning that out. So there's going to be a separation: David Serpa's EXP group, Prometheus and Mama Fancy, and music and social activism, and then my personal Facebook group. So there's 3 different things: me as a human being, me as a social activist with music, me as a real estate person and entrepreneur. And then that way I don't have to flood my personal Facebook page with it so much. So guys, I appreciate you. I love you guys. I'm so grateful that, Chrissy, quite honestly, I'm very grateful that you stuck around for as long as you did. This is a long ASS video. We got 87 comments. We got 55 reactions. I guarantee you this will be one of those videos that gets a ton of views over the course of the next couple hours. I'm here to help in any way that I can. I'm just starting to understand what balance means and how I can help in ways that I want to help, so that I'm not giving from a reach. I appreciate you guys. I can hear that Kate actually just found the file that we've been waiting for. I'm going to start releasing a lot more podcasts. I'm going to continue to be doing the Be Live stuff, but it is music. It is real estate. It is my personal life and all of that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Much love.